Unmute. All right. So, welcome to our friggin' solo playthrough, man. We're gonna have our lovely hero, Iridil Sovak. We're playing the Adventure Path Return of the Runelords. This is Book 1, Secret of Roderick's Cove. For those of you who haven't really heard about this Adventure Path before, it's the sequel to the ever popular Rise of the Runelords. Although I don't think you ever made it all the way through that one. I maintain it as a great AP. But our journey is going to begin in the sleepy town of Roderick's Cove. Before we do you want to describe your character, or wait till we're in it?
Yeah, I mean, I can describe him.
Yeah, go for it. You can do some say some of the cool build stuff you did as well.
Yeah, so Iridil Sovak is the totally legit son of the Black Arrow guard captain, I believe. He was in Rise of the Runelords. I think it's in book 3. You escort his daughter to go help him, go help find what happened to the Black Arrows. And
Yeah, they're
turns
a group
out,
of rangers that were stopping the trolls from invading in that region.
yeah, exactly. But there's some cool backstory where apparently he and his adventuring party back in the day saved an elf village from a green dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he managed to survive. His party gets wiped out, gets nursed to health, and he falls in love with an elfin woman. And then a couple of years later, some necromancer wanders by and happens to resurrect the green dragon, as necromancers do.
Yeah, it's
And
classic, as they do.
and the green dragon basically destroyed the village, and his love got wiped out in the ensuing attack. And since then, he's kind of left that village and came with the Black Arrows. And I am the son that he never knew he had.
The son he never knew he had. Hell yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to change our map really quick here. Where is the ones that I want? We're gonna go to just the top-down view, of the town to start out with. Out. All right. So this is the rather sleepy village of Roderick's Cove. Sir Auric Roderick founded Roderick's Cove, and when he did, he left a lot of the town planning to his advisors so that he could explore the surrounding regions in search of lost treasure and adventure. He found all sorts of things. Found treasure, found ancient ruins, all sorts of classic adventuring party stuff. Eventually, he was laid to rest, and the town has enjoyed a relatively peaceful time until the last couple of weeks. Now, what was the campaign trait you took? Why are you in town? This will determine how much you know to start.
Verify trait. I took the time lost campaign trait.
Ah, so suffering from a touch of amnesia then.
I believe
The...
so.
Nice. All right, so we'll just getting some cool town music for us going right now. Been a while since I've ran this AP, to make sure I refresh myself. So, as we begin our story, you are in the center of town, just over here, ping it on the map. This is the central marketplace, even as the tavern next to it. That's this long building over here. It's a combination tavern and inn. Oh God, that's what happens when I don't have enough caffeine and did not sleep enough. All right.
Well,
And since we are zooming in, I'm gonna bring you a bit closer. We're gonna find ourselves in the actual plaza. So, sorry, I'm gonna give you vision in just a second.
yeah. And I have a low light vision as a half elf.
Low light vision.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, for now we're gonna stay in the overmap. We don't really need the exact thing, but just so we get your tokens vision all settled, if you want to drag yourself into the marketplace. Right, and I'm going to change that. So you have low light vision.
Yes.
Alright, so let's grant you
For now.
vision. Low light vision. Okay. I'm gonna sync your HP to this token, so we don't have to redo it every time we go to a new map. Put our nameplate on. All right. There we go. Make it so people can actually see your value of HP. Always the thing to do at the beginning, just making sure everyone's token works. All right, that's your default now, so next time you drag it on, it'll have all those shenanigans.
Sorry, she's making coffee. All right, yeah, no, that worked.
So you find yourself in a rather thrumming market. It's a small town, but business appears to be booming. As you hear like people talking around you, animals, merchants belting out what they need for their wares. Go ahead and give me a perception check around this marketplace. All right. As you look around, you see that not far from some of the wooden carts, there are a few groups of people who seem to be huddled in very urgent conversation. One group appears to just be regular merchants, but on a 19 you hear that they're commiserating about the loss of several friends who, if what you're hearing is believed, perished in the slaughter the previous week, which would have been just before you arrived. Additionally, on a 19, you also notice that there is a second group of people, each with a patch on their clothing. The patch is crudely stitched into a mouth with jagged fangs descending from the top lip. Do you have either knowledge arcana, history, or local? These will all be applicable.
I have only one I'm trained in is religion. Let me double check, make sure I can't take things untrained.
Okay. Yeah, your stuff might allow you to do that, but if not, that'll be okay. We'll learn more later.
Nope, I don't. I cannot do things untrained.
All right, so you see them with the horned patches. On that check, you see there's another group that are kind of just like circling the well over here on the right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no official tokens for them, so I'm gonna kind of differentiate with red and blue.
Yep.
The ones you see with the horned patches are the red circles.
Mm-hmm.
Ones over by the well, they're kind of chatting. They're all wearing rather dark clothing, but you don't see any logo. Go ahead and give me a sense motive on the crowd in general here.
Okay.
All right, sense motive. Okay. You look over at the ones on the right, the ones who kind of just been circling the well. They look to be actively hostile. If you had to put it to words, it looks like they're sizing up the red group of bandits over here to like launch a strike.
Okay. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, whatever these gangs are, they are the ones on the right are not pleased. All right. So there's gonna be a little bit of an interesting start here. There's specific rules for this part of the campaign. Go ahead and roll into initiative.
Oh, make sure my token. Ooh, that's not good.
All right. So you have a chance here to intervene if you would like before anything happens. However, before you do, you see another figure steps up next to you. I'm gonna show you what she looks like. You see this elf clad in like beautiful blue and gray silks. Seems to already be holding weapons, darts at the end of 2 silk ropes. I don't know if you're new to town, but be careful. Things could get kind of hairy here.
Thanks for the warning.
No problem. She seems to kind of just be kind of tensing herself, ready for action. It's your choice. Do you do anything, or are you kind of watching this unfold?
I'm going to kind of keep an eye out. I would like to slowly go towards the tree line behind me, I'm guessing.
Yeah. You can go down there.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, and then I would like to attempt to stealth into the shadows, basically. If I'm not being observed, since they're probably making noise or something, I'm going to try to stealth if I can.
Yeah, go for a stealth check.
Okay. Oh.
Woof.
That would have been useful.
So, it's going to be the blue bandits next. They don't do anything about it, but you can clearly see that they have, like, clocked you, and they know what you look like. I'm going to make your token a little bit bigger for a second, so we'll get a good shot of your art really quick.
Okay.
I know it's on the stream, but if you want a closer look, bring it to the front. Fucking, I love it. Like, the purple tattoos, the blades. It's fucking sick. I'm a big fan. But let's shrink you back down, because you're not really that big.
If only I had those weapons right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someday. The blues begin to advance. However, before anything can happen, you see a spectral figure begin to manifest. I'm going to make his token a little bit bigger for now. There you go. Blues have gone a few steps forward. You see this figure form out of seemingly low-lying mist in the town. At first appearing as an indistinct, hazy outline, as if you were looking at someone through water, a couple feet down. In a booming voice, as it solidifies, you hear the ghost cry, "No! My cave! No!" And lets out a frightful scream that echoes through this whole marketplace. Go ahead and give me a will save. You see the 2 groups of ruffians scatter to the winds. They panic, they start running. A bunch of the merchants flee, animals running every which way. With that yell, this figure bursts into mist again, and pretty much all that's left in this whole marketplace is you and the woman. She looks... actually, give me a sense motive on her.
Okay.
She I'd say on a 7, she seems upset. She did not like that experience.
By the gods, what was that?
I don't... I have some ideas, but I need to be sure. Listen, she looks around, there's no one else here. She's like, look, you weathered that pretty well. My name's Adrani. Holds out a hand, kind of has tucked her weapons away now.
Aerodil, nice to meet you, Adrani.
Aerodil, it's a pleasure. I need to do some research, but would you mind meeting me at the Creekside Tavern over there later? She kind of gestures. See, there's like a sign up top above this building. It's like Creekside Tavern and Inn.
Yeah, might as well. If you have any idea what happened, here I could definitely take a drink at least.
I'm worried it has something to do with the town's history, and if that's true, it shouldn't be happening. But I'll catch up with you later. She like quickly power walks out of the square. So, for not having panicked and run, this is a quick story award. You are gonna get 200 XP just for hanging around.
Oh yeah.
Right away. And this is a medium XP progression. So first level will be at 2,000. So you're a tenth of the way there.
Easy
and
enough.
you get your Gestalt levels as well, so you'll be a very powerful character.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have the run of the town right now. She said meet you there later tonight. Is there anything you'd like to do around town? I can give you some of the. If you want to make like a diplomacy check to gather information, you can try to see like what important things are around here.
Okay, yeah. I think first, Erdo would walk over towards where that ghostly figure appeared and see if there's like any residue or anything, just to kind of maybe how that happened at that particular area or anything. Get any clues, really.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so you kind of go to the center where the ghost was, and as you are looking around, at first it doesn't catch your eye. It's cobblestone square. There's lots of small like puddles and stuff from previous like drizzles during the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize the puddles where he first emerged, that area, you kind of sniff the air and bend down. The area where he emerged, the water appears to have changed. It is seawater now.
Okay,
Now
so it
you
smells
are
like briny.
Yeah, it smells briny, salty. You're like near the the docks, but seems like literally a purely concentrated puddle of seawater. It should not smell like that in the middle of town.
Okay. I'll take one of the various containers I have, my person allegedly, and I would get a sample of it.
Sure, yeah, you can take like a small glass bottle or flask or something, scoop some of that up.
Yeah, might be useful.
Nice. All right.
At least I have a clue now. With that being said, unless you need to do an exposition, I was gonna see if maybe there's like an alchemist shop nearby or something.
Yeah, you can look around.
Yeah. Because I wanted to try to take the sample there, see if they identify it other than seawater. I'm not trained in that, so I don't know.
No worries. Okay, I'd say give me a diplomacy check. Gather some information, see what shops are around.
Okay. Let me see, it's not my forte.
It's okay, it's pretty low DC. Yeah, you nailed it, you're fine. So you go around, you start talking to townsfolk. There are a variety of options here. I'm actually going to go ahead and reveal some of the numbers around town, so that'll help you kind of see what I'm talking about.
Magic numbers appearing over buildings, no big deal. Don't
Yeah, no big
freak
deal,
out.
just glowing. That's half of them, and then... Okay. So, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. I'd say at 15, you know that there is a very large chapel and graveyard to Pharasma near the top of the town. That is Area 1. Some other key points that you're interested in, you're looking for specifically alchemy stuff. There is Brogan's Apothecary. That is this small corner shop. Zoom in a little bit more on the stream here. That is this small corner shop over here. Or sorry, one street up right here.
Okay.
That's the Apothecary. You see some other stuff step out. There is like a kennel that breeds dogs. There's, you know, the local guardhouse, the tavern. There is the Circle Marketplace. That's where you just were. There's butchers. There's a smithy. There is just a general store. Interestingly enough, this town does support multiple deity temples. In the kind of bottom right, that number 15, that is the Temple of Stars and Roads to Desna.
Okay.
Apart from that, it's a pretty good generalization. Might be some other shops and whatnot around, like armories, but there you go.
Okay.
Where do you think you're
Iredil
headed?
is a follower of Desna, so he'll take note of that.
Hell yeah.
But he'll head towards the alchemist shop that he heard about.
Right. Yep, you head across town, all the way over to this corner street. 5 is the alchemist one. 15 is the temple.
Okay.
There's no actual map for this one, but you kind of open the door. There's a small jingle of a bell that's been placed at the top. And behind a counter that is just awash with like potted herbs. You see like different jars, like mineral powders, all these poultices and balms. You see a about 3 foot tall halfling standing behind the counter. He's got a little stool to make sure he reaches to the top. Seems like maybe he bought this building from someone who is perhaps medium-sized but is making the best of it. What can I do there for you? Yeah, I don't recognize you. You new in town?
Yes, I'm near the town. I'm just passing through. This strange occurrence happened in the town square. I was hoping maybe I could borrow some of your expertise.
Was that what... I heard some screaming earlier. I thought it was just... You know, the two gangs getting into it again.
Yes, there were 2 gangs there. One of them had a kind of logo or emblem stitched on their clothing, and the other one didn't. Are you familiar with what those gangs are? I've never met them before.
The logo you saw, do you know what it looked like? It was like the horned mouth and
the
fangs.
horn mouth thing. I would describe that. Yeah, it seems like a mouth with had a horn on top with these gruesome fangs.
Oh, that's the Road Keepers. They've been a bandit, well, it's veritably a family business, but it's been a bandit group that's worked around this area of Varizia for, decades now.
Decades now. Nobody's cleared them out.
They try, but their leader is, well, it's this wily young lass at the moment. Her name's Lullaby Van Casterkin. She is, if the guards are to be believed, she is quite tricky to get a hold of. I think she might be some kind of magic user.
Let's see.
But the other ones, what was their garb? Was it plain? Was it ostentatious? Fancy?
That's a good question. I'll consult my self and meditation real quick.
I mean, they look just kind of wearing plain black robes.
Yeah, it didn't appear too ostentatious. It seemed to be dark garb, like black dark colors. Nothing really outstanding about it,
I
from
suppose they
what I
could
can
have
remember.
been brigadiers that came in with the ships, but you
They
haven't been in
seemed to
town
have it out
long.
for that other gang, though. They were about to, it was like, throw down when the strange occurrence happened.
That's what I was afraid of. I'm getting damn tired of those two fighting. There's a group in town, and if there seems to me like they might have hired some extra muscle, because normally these rather pretentious men go around in green cloaks and pretty brightly attired outfits. They call themselves the Order of Resplendence. They were, from what I understand, they were a scholarly order, but lately they've been ever so keen to pick a fight with the road keepers, and I don't know, no one really seems to know why. The guard's kind of at a loss, and they haven't really got enough proof to march on the order's building, but I don't know, if you ask me, things in Roderick's Cove have gotten a bit dicey as of late.
Um,
But you said you needed my help. How can I help you?
yes. Back to that business at hand. I obtained this at the site of the strange happening, and I would hand him the vial of seawater. I think it's just seawater. This is what it smells like, and what I can identify. But I'm no alchemist. And
He kind
then
of, yeah, he takes the vial from you. So then you did what, sorry?
Then Irda would go on to describe the occurrence. It was this apparition of some sort appeared in the town square, and he let out a ghastly wail, and it caused everyone to flee. I managed to stave it off with one or two others, but
He
then it
kind
just
of,
disappeared.
yeah, he leans in, like, very interested. And he's just like, that's quite a tale. Now, let me see that. He takes the vial, he like kind of uncorks it and just like dips a pinky finger and tastes it immediately. Tastes like seawater. Here, I'll run some experiments and where's my blasted jeweler's glass? There it is. Pulls out from behind the counter one of those like jeweler's monoculars that you look at things really close up.
Mm-hmm.
He sees a brief like flash of blue on the surface. You see some runes light up. Well, I'll run it through some beakers over here. He kind of puts it in like a beaker with like some glass tubes running up and around.
Mm-hmm.
He watches that for me. He's like, composition would appear to be just regular water and salt. I mean, the ratio matches the bay around here. Although why it would be in the center of the square remains to be seen. But there's this ever so faint aura of, I don't know if you're familiar, but necromancy magic. It's a school
Too
of
familiar,
magic.
sadly.
Well, you have my condolences then. That's not always a good thing. But yes, some sort of undeath necromancy has gone on here in the center of town. I can't really make hide nor hair of it though. It's I see the aura, but I'm not recognizing it as any particular spells. I don't know.
Odd. And then the apparition took this form of a man, and Ariel would go into describing what the man looked like. And then he said something about his cave or cove, I believe. Don't know. It was all quite
Cove.
frightening.
You see, thinks for a second, and his eyes kind of widen in recognition as he's just like, the apparition, kind of long hair, kind of a sharp, angular cheekbones. You clearly see that he's like probably had maybe the beginnings of a goatee, perhaps a sword scabbard. He's describing pretty much exactly what you saw.
Yes. That's the image.
He kind of rocks back on his stool. Now that's interesting. Because if what you're saying is accurate, that sounds like the descriptions of Sir Roderick, our founder. But he's been dead hundreds of years, and I'm not really much of a practical caster myself. I'm more into the alchemical arts, but to my understanding, if he was some sort of ghost or apparition with unfinished business, he would have manifested surely closer to his death.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
Odd. But you said it has a necromantic aura. Maybe someone pulled this spirit back here?
I suppose that's possible. It's not unheard of that different casters and sects would be able to pull a spirit from the outer planes or the boneyard.
Who's to say? But the cove or the cave, do you recall anything about that from him?
Cove itself? Well, I mean, this is the town of Roderick's Cove. I mean, there is the bay itself, but there are, perhaps he was talking about my cove, the town. He did also have a bit further away from town along the river. He had his personal residence, which had enough of a small inlet to park his smaller boat. That could be his specific cove. I don't know. I've heard people refer to both those places, Roderick's Cove, the town or his personal residence. They are interchangeable.
I see. And then one last question. Do you know where Sir Roderick is laid to rest?
I know that there's he has a small crypt in the Pharasman Temple. When he first founded the town, a bunch of Pharasman priests were close on his heels, and that was one of the first buildings constructed. They wanted to use it to, bring stability to the town. I mean, from what I know, he's interred there.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll go to there next. See what I can find out. Well, while I'm here, I guess I do have some coin. If you have some wares available for sale, I don't want to just take up your time with words.
Oh, well, honestly, I found that rather fascinating. I'd be interested to hear more, perhaps later. But yes, of course, I have herbs, poultices. I am a reasonably accomplished alchemist. I have magically enhanced potions as well as the herbal. Is there anything in particular you were looking for?
There wasn't, but if we could maybe come to an agreement, I will go and try to find out more, and then if I do find out anything, I can come back and because I think I may have need of an alchemist of your skills. I just don't know what I would need just yet. Perhaps if you have advice for if I go to check out his residence, I don't know what type of creatures roam that area, but if you have a potion that might help, I would gladly bargain with that.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of an expensive one, but around here, I try to recommend adventurers to have a potion of water breathing on them. As for protection, I mean, this is Varizia, it's the land of legend. The whole country is, I mean, apart from the city-states and the towns, is rather wild. Could be anything out there, but we have had a problem with reef claws recently, both in the bay and up the river. Have you ever fought their like?
I is it like a knowledge check? I guess if I
I
have
would say it would
this.
be a knowledge. Let me double check their creature type.
And I literally only have knowledge religion.
Oh, it's not knowledge religion. But he's
Yeah.
like, there's these, they're almost like a serpent mixed with a really fucked up lobster. I'll show you the handout of what they look like.
Angry lobsters. Okay. And I'm assuming he has like probably like an image sketch out somewhere. It's like, oh,
Yeah, there's
what
like
a
bounties in town that's like kill a reef claw, get some gold.
yeah. How does one even begin to fight this monstrosity?
First things first, don't let it grab you. It'll try to drag you under, and that'll make it harder to kill. Second thing is, well, it does have not super potent, but does have a poison that it can secrete from its jaws. Sometimes it'll lick the claws and kind of coat them in it as well. If you wanted to, perhaps some antitoxins or the like, something to resist poison.
Those could become helpful. You did mention you had a bit more expensive potion of water breathing. What might that cost a up and coming adventurer?
He
What does it
pulls
might
out
cost?
this like kind of like semi-spherical glass jar with this white blue pearlescent liquid, and he's like, normally I charge about 750.
Let's see. Well, that is a bit too rich for my blood, so maybe I'll just do with the anti venoms and the toxins. I don't have much coin on me. Uh, to be frank, it took most of what I had to get to where I am today.
It's fair. Traveling through this region's difficult. Um, and if you can, I'd recommend if you go to any of the larger cities in Varisia, Magnamar, Corvosa, any of the powerful city-states, I would travel by boat would be your best bet.
Okay. And then I thank you for your time. I think I'll just take. I think I'll take an antitoxin just to be sure and to make sure your time's not wasted here. And if I do hear anything, I will be sure to inform you of my findings.
I appreciate that. This has been quite an interesting development you've brought me. I'll tell you, normally an antitoxin's about 50. Let it go for 40.
I appreciate that. Yes, here you go. Here's 50 gold for your services
Okay.
and your time.
He'll pass you kind of this like small, murky green potion bottle. Mechanically, antitoxin. It'll give you, if you drink it, it'll give you a +5 alchemical bonus on saves against poison for an hour. So like if you're going somewhere that there are poisonous creatures, you can drink that, and +5's a pretty fucking hefty bonus at this level.
Yeah. +5 a chemical bonus to poison. Okay. I got that added to my inventory.
All right. Anything else you're looking for in town?
I was gonna go check out Pharasma's temple. Now that I have another lead. Depending
Phrasma
what
Temple?
time it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Oh,
'Cause I
it
told her
hasn't
I'd
been
meet
that long
her,
since
so-
morning. You probably like did it, I think gathering information diplomacy, it probably took you like hour or two. It's probably still before noon.
Okay. Yeah, then
Okay.
I'll head there, I guess.
Over to the Phrasman Temple. All right. You approach the Ladies' Chapel. As you kind of push through the door, you see this like very classical, not a cathedral size or anything, but stone ridge supports inside the main building, some stained glass windows, kneeling in front of an altar with a stone carving of Pharasma's spiral, her holy symbol. You see a human man in black priest robes is bent over in front of it.
Black priest. So he's a priest of Pharasma.
Yeah, you would think that's pretty standard for
Yeah.
Phrasmans.
Good day to you, priest.
Oh, welcome, my son. Always a pleasure to have new faces in the temple. The name's Dessel Marfin. You can just call me Des.
Hello, Des. My name is Iridil. Nice to meet you.
How can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking into a certain event that happened earlier today. It was in the town square. Perhaps you've been informed of it?
I did have some rather worried merchants in here earlier. They they said that there was a ghost. I didn't know how much stock to put in it.
Yes, it seemed to be some sort of specter. Of that, I have no doubt. I've consorted with a local alchemist who advised me that uh, the founder, Sir Roderick, this is where he's laid to rest, yes?
They think it's Sir Roderick's ghost.
From his
Sorry.
description, it does appear to be that way, yes.
Uh, yeah. He has a small crypt and monument over in the graveyard. That's doesn't make sense. From what I understand, in the records of this church, the original priest who came with him from Magnamar, they laid him to rest. I don't know why he would. They did the proper rites, I believe.
Well, it doesn't hurt to check. Might you show me to this temple or this altar of his or tomb?
Yes, of course. He leads you out into the graveyard, over to this like central. It's like an obelisk in the center.
Okay.
Um. Then. Kind of walks you over to it. It's this beautiful kind of obsidian obelisk. It's dedicated to Roderick. As far as I understand, this is where he was buried.
And doesn't look to be disturbed or anything, right?
Give me a perception check. You can investigate it. See what you find. You look around. You don't see any signs of disturbance, but on a 20, something does catch your eye through the wrought iron fence of the graveyard. Coming out of the little house over here is a Adrani. Doesn't seem to have spotted you yet.
I would like to tell the priest one moment, sir. And I'm going. She's over there. She doesn't notice me.
She hasn't
Can I make out
spotted you yet.
what? Can I make out what she's doing?
I mean, it looks like just a small house. It looks like she's just leaving, getting ready to go into town.
Okay. I would attempt to kind of stealth behind the obelisk and just kind of peer over and watch her walk into town,
Yeah, I'd say
trying to avoid her gaze.
give me a stealth check then. We'll say the 20 perception is definitely good enough to watch her leave. But we'll see if she can spot you versus your stealth.
Okay.
All right, let me double check her perception. She doesn't seem to spot you. You're watching her walk away. However, the priest Des does spot you. He's like, "Are you all right? Um,
Oh,
do you
yes.
know Adrani?"
I did meet her in the town square when the apparition appeared. Um, After its terrifying scream, we were the only ones left there. Everyone else panicked.
Well, doesn't surprise me that you wouldn't be scared of the dead. Um, that's what she's our groundskeeper for the cemetery,
She's the groundskeeper.
or at least for the last year she has been.
Hmm. Very strange. When the apparition appeared, she looked like she recognized it.
I mean, if it's Roderick, as you say, there are depictions of him in carvings all over town. I imagine she would have recognized him.
Interesting. Maybe there's more to her. I'm supposed to meet with her later. Um, to she said she would explain some things. But
Well,
this
honestly, I'm just glad she's talking to anyone. Sometimes I think she only talks to me. And even that was a struggle to get her to start.
oh, why might that be?
He kind of hesitates. You think he's like kind of he doesn't know how much to say because she's not here. Well, you see, she she hasn't told me a lot about her past, but from what I understand, she was betrayed and there was much death. And when she sought justice from Magnemar's judiciary system, was met with mostly disillusionment rather than an actual solution.
I see. Sometimes the big government forgets itself and is supposed to protect its people.
That is so, and sometimes I fear Magnamar loses its way a little too often. But she's a good woman.
Yes, I mean we all have secrets, I suppose, so nothing unheard of. Still, I will ask her about this later. We do meet up. Um, Now the apparition mentioned something about a cove, and I know, of course, this town being named Roderick's Cove. Do you know anything else that might uh mean? Reference, like a
Give me a
landmark
check
of
here.
sort.
He kind of leans back, still standing up, just crosses his arms. If you want my 2 copper pieces, I think that he did mean the town. Sure, Roderick was a gallivanting, swashbuckling adventurer, but if there was one thing he did in his life that had meaning and that he was truly proud of, it was starting this town. He was deeply protective of it. If the stories are true, some of the only times he ever rushed back from his adventures were if he heard the town was in danger, and he would bring himself and his crew as quickly as possible.
Hmm, I see. Um, and what of his residence? What can you tell me about his residence? Is there currently anybody inhabiting the old place, or?
Roderick's old place, they call it now, the water, some people still call it as Cove, but the building itself Locals just call it Roderick's Wreck. It's in disrepair.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you for your time, priest. Um, I think I'll also go visit Temple of Desna and pay my respects to my goddess.
Oh, of course.
And I'm actually gonna go there
While you were
now.
there, give my best to. Well, I don't want to speak to give him his first name. I don't know if he'll let you do that, but Father Salen is over there. He's a good man.
Yes, I will tell him that Des wishes well.
All right. You kind of cross the little river in the middle of town, and head over to the Temple of Stars and Roads. This one perhaps not as ostentatious as the Pharasman one. They're often really big into. Pharasmans are a weird mix of grandeur, but also wanting to be aesthetic and honor the dead. This one looks a little less grand, but it is definitely more lived in. It seems like this one sees a lot more traffic in the town. The chapel's primarily dedicated to Desna. You see there's a huge statue of her at the other end, butterfly wings folding out behind her. But there's also a half dozen odd additional shrines to various minor gods, imperial lords. And this time you see not really praying, just kind of laughing with some locals on your way in. You hear one like, "Thank you, Father. We'll keep that in mind." He's like, "Oh, of course. See you next week." You see a rather tall, skinny half-elf. He looks over you. He's like, "Oh, a new congregant? Welcome. What can I do for you?"
Greetings, Father. My name is Iridil. I just came into town recently, and I was just here to pay my respects to my goddess.
He kind of glances down. He's the Song of Spheres, or one of these minor ones?
Song of Spheres. What is?
That's just another name for Desna.
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, welcome. If you would like, if you would allow me the honor, I would like to say a prayer for you and bless you on your travels, if that's okay.
By all means, yes. I appreciate this.
You see, kind of one fist grasps his holy symbol. Looks to be made of looks like perhaps cheap metal, but covered in silver. Of her butterfly. And he holds the other hand, kind of touches your forehead. Blessed is the long road, the destination, the homeward path, and all who would make the journey. Let each dream be a bright star in the night sky of your mind, lighting your path in the day. Well, I hope your travels here were safe, and I hope your future travels are safe as well.
Thank you, Father. Oh, and Des? Says hello.
Good. It's been a lot. I should really go say hi to him. I feel like it's been a few weeks since I've seen him. Just missed him around town.
Yes, he did mention that it's been a minute since you two have convened together.
So, well, perhaps I'll invite him to the next musical celebration. You wouldn't happen to be... Do you play music? We're going to be hosting some musicians later this week. There's a luthier, harp player, fiddler.
I am very good at listening to music, not so much the playing of it.
Fair enough. Well, you're welcome to join us if you decide you want to listen over there.
I do appreciate the gesture, sir. I think what time is it roughly
Of
now?
the day, I'd say it's getting closer to 3 or 4 in the afternoon. If she meant an early dinner, you probably got an hour or so left.
Okay. Uh, Thank you again, Father, for your blessing, and may our goddess protect you on your way.
Of course, and may she watch over you as well. Always a pleasure to meet another follower of the faith.
And with that, Iridil will leave the temple.
All right.
She said we have about an hour, I guess, until I'm supposed to go meet her. I guess along the what is building 14 and 18 again?
14 and which one?
18.
14, that one is the scrolled past it. That one is that's the general store, Conroll's general store. And then 18 across the road, that is the Cove Armory.
All right. Let's see. Don't think I need anything from them. What about building 13?
13, scroll back up. That one is Pelson's Cuts. That's the butcher shop.
Butcher shop, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll just kind of wander around town. I mean, I guess if you want, could I like take a 20? I don't know if that would be like an hour or so of my time to kind of just gather like rumors and news of what's going on.
Yeah, I'd say you could take 20 and look for some rumors.
Okay, that's an 18.
God damn. So still, that'll be good enough. So you hear another rumor about, well, you can hear a few rumors about it. You heard those merchants earlier talking about like some kind of massacre or something. And you hear more people talking about it. It seems like relatively recently, just before you arrived, there were 6 murder victims. And the thing is, no one's really quite sure how they died in the massacre. A lot of people seem to think that both the Order of Resplendence and the Horned Fangs were in on this, as well as the Road Keepers, just all the gangs around, you know.
Yeah.
But everyone has a different story about the bodies. Some people are like, no. I saw them. The fisherman and the trapper, they were run clean through by a spear. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? They were riddled with arrows. But no one seems to be in a consensus about this. And then I was like, it doesn't matter anyway. The Gravekeeper already buried all of them. It's fine. Yeah, probably just more gang violence. Who cares?
I kind of mutter under my breath. I'll have to mention this to Drawny and see what's going on there. I'm gonna slowly make my way to the tavern.
All right, make your way over to the tavern. Gonna bring you over in 1 second. That is not the right tavern that I wanted. There's the one. Still. Oh, hold on. Let me just set it to. It's set to nighttime for some reason, but there's still some daylight left. Then. I know why. Okay. I have to specifically say that I am also in control of your tokens so that the viewers can see what you see.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try to figure out why it was not working. Okay, there we go. You find yourself approaching from the non-creek side of the tavern.
Okay.
Seems to be not a huge crowd so far, but this is where you are supposed to meet Adrani. And in fact, you can see her at the table through the window.
Let's see. All right, I shall make my way inside the tavern then.
I will remove that block for you.
Okay. And then I guess I'll go sit down with her.
All right. At the moment, just seems to be just kind of random other villagers around. No one in particular seems to stand out, but Adrani kind of stands, waves you over. Hey, I'm glad you came. I wasn't sure that you would.
Yes, I had to do a little bit of investigating myself, and hopefully we can put our two heads together and figure out what's going on. I was quite interested to hear what you had to say, after all.
Of course. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you again for taking the time to chat with me. You seem like the capable sort. Certainly not the type who'd want to come here just to live out the small town comforts in Roderick's Cove. And look, I don't mean that as an insult. Far from it. I've been in town for a couple of years, and I think the Cove could use someone like you. Someone who can stand in the face of the monsters of Varizia and, well, be a hero. There's, I don't really know how to put it. I mean, you felt how charged it was, the environment in the by all the merchants. It's like there's this stink of violence in the air, and that confrontation we saw that got broken up by the ghost. Thankfully, it's not the first we've had lately. Have you? I don't know. Since you've been walking around, have you heard about the slaughter that took place last week?
Yes, I did, but it seemed to be a very confusing ordeal. No one knew quite what had happened. Right? Various stories of they were maimed this way or that.
There is some purpose behind that obfuscation. Myself and Des over at the Phrasman Temple, we had to bury the bodies, and in talking with the mayor, Mayor Thort, we thought maybe it'd be better to just bury them. But I don't know, something strange is going on in the cove, and someone's got to do some investigating. I was hoping that, the mayor doesn't know you. She hasn't told you to stay away from it like she told me. Maybe you could investigate?
Uh, Iridil's gonna sit there for a minute and pause and kind of
Mhm.
assess. Can I roll a sense motive?
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it.
Um, I mean, elves are sometimes a little tricky to read. They have like the solid black eyes, no pupils to dilate. Hard to get a read either way. Um, but she seems to be asking you whether it's for good or evil. The ask is genuine.
Yeah. See. I think I could investigate this on your behalf and for my own curiosity as well. But why would the mayor of all people tell you to stay away from this?
See, that's what I don't know. I mean, she's a good mayor. Why would she? I don't know. I get the feeling she knows more than she's telling. Otherwise, I don't know why she would do this.
Yeah, that does seem to be a lot of that going on. Um, you- I found out something very interesting about you, actually. You're the gravekeeper at the cemetery?
Yeah, I'm the gravekeeper.
Um, What do you think is the reason for the ghost of this town's very founder to appear? Is that not a normal occurrence that he makes appearances, is it? He's been dead for quite some time.
Never. I mean, I've only been here 2 years, but I haven't heard a single story about him ever appearing. And I mean, the people here are pretty tight knit. They gossip a lot. I think that would have been a talking point for a long time if it had happened.
I mean, he did mention something about his cove. That I guess that's the town's namesake. So you haven't been to his residence then? No, you haven't checked that out.
Roderick's wreck? No, I haven't gone there.
Okay, well, where do you suggest I start this investigation then?
She kind of hesitates, and she's like, if I think Des would let us do it, would you be okay to look at one of the bodies? I got from Brogan, the apothecary over there. I got a potion to kind of maintain the body for a couple weeks. So it's buried, but we could examine it.
I'm not too trained in the art of whatever this would be, but I can always offer my opinion, at the very least.
Guess let's start there and see where you want to go next.
Sounds good to me. Please, by all means, lead the way.
All right.
And I'm assuming over the course of this conversation, like we're having a dinner or something, because
Oh yeah, she fully pays for your dinner, as like a thanks for coming to talk to her. Let me scroll down. I have lost this map. There we go. Okay. So she's gonna bring you back over to the graveyard. She explains the situation to Des. He's like, yeah, it's after dark anyway. Just take a lantern, go sort it out. She brings you back kind of into the corner over here to 6 fresh graves. It's like, all right, one of them, it's not the one I'm digging up, had a puncture wound in his neck, like he'd been run through. But the others all had the same symptoms, I guess I would say. Here, she kind of passes you a shovel and starts digging with you side by side. It doesn't take long. Seems like she maybe was planning on this, as the coffin is not all the way 6 feet deep.
Yep.
But the body that comes out, when she pulls the lid back, doesn't come out of it, but first thing you notice is that on the shoulder patch, there is another of the horned fangs symbols.
Yeah, the road keepers.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if they're trying to split off from the road keepers to be their own thing, but I don't know. There's been a lot of bandit violence out in the woods too, I hear, not just in town. But look, all of them, including the one with the puncture wound, they all had the horned fang symbol on them, and she kind of like points at its face. As you lower the lantern, this man's face is just frozen in a locked expression. Looks like they couldn't unfreeze it. I'm gonna say no check needed. He looks terrified. It's like, I don't know if you want to look at the body, make an assessment, but like, if I didn't know better, it seems like it would be impossible. But the other 5, it looks like they died of fright. Not a puncture wound or any wound on them at all. If you want, you can make either a perception check or a or heal check. Excuse me.
Since I put my skill focus into perception, let's go with that.
Okay. You kind of look over, very delicately, trying to, be respectful. You pull back his shirt and stuff, and you pretty quickly confirm that she's right. There's not a single physical wound on him, and honestly, on a 14, he looks to be in, at least, for a bandit, he's in pretty good health. Like, he's in shape, clearly he works out, and he's got a couple battle scars, but nothing major.
You're saying all the
Anything?
bodies are of similar nature to this?
She nods. Like, the other ones, I wasn't able to repose the others, but yeah, they all had the same expression, and I couldn't find a single wound on them.
How interesting. Let me think. And Irdal would think to himself, it's like, what could cause something to be so terrified they die? I'm sure that's some knowledge check of some sort that I probably don't have.
I'd say you could either make. Well, I think, it could be Arcana, but I think a religion could be relevant as well. Damn. Okay. If I can come to the
I know
nat
my
20.
religion.
Yeah, you are all about the religion. Um, so this check is kind of related to religion in terms of undead. There's a lot of different undead and creatures like that are keen on frightening mortals, sometimes to the point of death. If you didn't know religion so well, that might lead you to the conclusion that, did the ghost scare them? But on a 24, I'd say you would look at his apparition and determine it did not have the capability of doing that. In fact, it didn't show up until these frightened deaths had already happened. At least if the timeline is to be believed.
So it wasn't a trigger.
So you think it wasn't the ghost that would have caused this fright. Whatever it was, if it is something religious, could have been related to, like, undeath and the undead, but not the ghost you saw.
I would share my thoughts with Adrani. I've never heard of this myself, but anything is possible.
I suppose. I don't know what to make of it. Hold on. She's gonna try knowledge arcana. Um, It's like, I mean, maybe some kind of fear spell. I don't know.
Very well could be. Whatever it was, they didn't stand a chance against it, so I'm assuming it's some evil creature of some sort that feeds on fear, possibly. The puncture wound, I don't know. Is a weapon of some sort made that mark? And I'll kind of examine the puncture wound with my hand.
Um, I would say this could either just be a straight wisdom or intelligence, whatever's higher for you, with the weapon wound.
Gonna be wisdom.
You would guess, judging from the shape and the entry and exit wound, probably a rapier.
Definitely looks like a man-made weapon of some sort, so maybe it's a foul caster of some sort. I'm gonna kind of spit magics.
Yeah, sometimes they're more trouble than they're worth, huh?
Yes. Speaking of troubles, though, what troubles you so much that you want to investigate this? Yeah, surely you've been here for a couple of years, but this isn't your home.
You see,
Not yet, at least.
she hesitates. Um. Okay. I don't look. It's hard to talk about. Give me a diplomacy check. See if you can get it out of her.
Yes, my 7 charisma. Let's go.
7 charisma. She's just like, look, maybe we know each other a little bit better, but just know that I'm doing it because these men, just because they were bandits doesn't mean they don't deserve justice. So if I can help give that to them or find someone who can give it to them, then, well, that's good enough for me.
Understandable. We all have a past.
Kind of nods,
Hope to
looking
hear
off in the
yours one
distance.
day.
Yeah, maybe once some of this has settled down.
All right. Well, with it being pretty late in the evening, I think I'm going to get myself a room and head out in the morning.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a medium inn. It's a 1-person room's like 2 silver a night. It's not a lot.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know what else to do with this body. I've kind of exhausted myself. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But I would definitely like rent the room, kind of go over thing with like the notes that I have, and make more notes in like a journal of sorts
For sure.
of what happened through the day. And obviously, there's just character fluff, but
You're definitely not interrupted or anything. A quiet night near the river bubbles by your window. The next morning, what's the move here? There's a lot of kind of pieces in motion.
I suspected that house over there, but the graveyard is Adrani's house. But I didn't say that I would go visit her or anything. So I think what I'm gonna do is, with my toxin in hand, I would like to go speak with the mayor, and then after speaking with the mayor, I'm gonna head towards. The alchemist said there's like a little cove or whatever that he was referencing. I'd like to go investigate that.
Oh yeah, that's where Roderick's wreck is, his old house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go looking for the mayor. So it's actually across from the inn is actually town hall. It's called Cove Hall. You find out that most people just call her Mayor Thort, but her official title is kind of taken from Magnamar and their like houses of office. She is Post Governor Lorenza Thort. As you go into like the front waiting lobby, there is a secretary out front, and just like, can I help you? Welcome to Cove Hall.
Yes. You are the leader of the town. Yes.
Oh, I'm just Madame Thort's secretary. She's in the back. Did you want to meet her?
Yes. I would like to have just a few quick words, if you don't mind getting her for me.
I could schedule an appointment. Can I ask what this is about?
The ghost of Roderick in the town square yesterday.
She kind of hesitates. The quill scratching on paper like stops.
Figured that would get her attention.
He's like, so you hear from inside another voice, just like, it's fine, Carla, send him in. You enter the back room of Cove Hall into Lorenza Thort's office. You see this figure sitting before you behind a lovely, rather large mahogany desk. She eyes you over the top of like some folded fingers as she, head resting on her hands. I'm a very busy woman. but I must admit events are strange in Roderick's Cove. You were at the marketplace yesterday?
I was, in fact, yes, along with some unscrupulous-looking characters. They seem to have tended to brawl, and then this specter of sorts appeared out of nowhere and scared most people off.
She kind of narrows her eyes. She's like, we'll get to the ghost in a second, but too ready to brawl. What did the groups look like? Do you know who they are?
I believe one of them is a local gang, maybe both. One you guys call the Road Keepers, and I would describe the emblem as like an emblem with a mouth and a
Oh,
horn
so
and some fangs.
yeah, she's like, they've kind of split off into their own thing now. I guess. Look, I guess you should know if you're. I don't want you to get killed by them. So, those people were, yes, they were part of the Road Keepers until one of them started getting some bright ideas. And from what I understand, she broke away from Lullaby, the leader of the Road Keepers, and she's been running a rather more cutthroat outfit. Haven't been able to catch her at it, but I hear things. Her name's Jana, by the way.
Do they have a name for themselves, or they just...
They're the Horned Fangs. They just have decided to go by that. Her name's Jana Gold. Well, that's what they call her anyway. Her real name, as I understand it from the wanted poster from Magnamar, is Jana Gold Gildersleeves.
Would that name mean anything to me?
I don't think it would mean anything to you right now.
Okay.
She does pull out a wanted poster, though, so you can see the likeness of her. This is Jana, the leader of the Horned Fangs.
Okay.
Look, how does this all factor into the ghost? They weren't related, were they? Do you think they were?
I don't know. I'm just passing by and happened to be in your lovely town when all this happened. I don't know much of anything. I was hoping you could enlighten me.
She kind of rubs her forehead and is like, look, I am not in any position to turn down help. If you want to investigate, by all means, I won't stop you. I'm already down some guards. They went missing in the Churlwood to the east. And a couple of dwarfs that were in town. I don't know what's happened to them, but there's too much happening at once. I don't have enough resources. Listen, if you can find any concrete evidence or solutions to... She kind of chuckles a little nervously. It's like, I mean, to any of the woes of the town, I can arrange an award from our coffers, if that's something that would be of interest to you.
You did have my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
He kind of laughs at that. She's like, look, my family's from Magnamar. We're no strangers to business and striking a good deal.
Yes,
All right.
I can do that for you. Now, I did notice someone else in the town square. Her name, she said, was a Drawny. I don't know.
Adrani, the caretaker of the graveyard? Yeah, she's a forlorn. Sorry, she told me not to say that anymore. She was an elf that was raised outside of an elven community. Other elves kind of to say they look down on the forlorn would be an understatement.
I see. And I
But
guess I would know
yeah,
that because I'm a half elf myself. So
yeah, I think you would know that. She's kind of explaining it like out of embarrassment. She's like, I don't, but yeah, you would know that. You didn't know that she was a forlorn, but you do understand the significance of that.
yeah,
They're almost as a lot of pureblood elves will dislike half elves. They'll dislike forlorns just as much, if not more.
yeah. Let's see. Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you're very busy with this very exciting little town you have here. Um, I will see what I can do regarding gathering evidence and whatnot. I was hoping maybe you could point me in a right direction just to start.
Um, she kind of gets up from her desk and starts to pace. Look, you could ask around town specifically about the Fangs. If the Order of Resplendence was involved in anything, you could go to their manor, but I don't know. They barely let anyone into Peacock Manor anymore. But you could try. She kind of stops and she's like, listen, there were. I wouldn't condone this, but the gangs, especially the road keepers, they hear a lot in the region. Then of course there's she kind of snaps her finger. There's that slaughter a week back. The guards told me there was 2 witnesses. There's a young kid. His name's Kiney Fromperton. He's well, not to put it bluntly, but he's the son of the town drunk. And then there's Ladia Kelstrop. She also witnessed events. She runs a smokehouse in town. If you want to go see her, but supposedly they both saw something of what happened.
Yeah, I think I shall do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you'll excuse me, I do have to get back to work, but find anything, keep me appraised.
I shall do that. Thank you.
Very well. Carl will see you out.
All right. And then I'm gonna head to the woman that she told me about.
Head to Ladia's one.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a smoke shop in the sense it's unlike the butchery. This is like a smoked meats shop. So that is over. Let me drag your token. That is over on the far east side of town. To kind of get the smoke, plumes away from the rest of the people. You go. You see there's this lovely sign out front proclaiming this to be Kelstrop Meats. There's a haze of like fragrant, mouth-watering smoke kind of drifting out of the chimney. You see in the window display, looks like she's got like smoked salmon, beef, seafood that she smoked, pork. And you see a pretty strong woman. This seems to be Ladia, the owner. She's like chopping up some meat behind a counter. And I will show you her art in just a second. Well, are you gonna come on in, or am I gonna have to come out there and get you?
No, I'll come in. Your shop just smells so delicious.
Look, I'm particularly proud of the smoked salmon right now. There's some samples on the counter there.
Well, don't mind if I do, and I'll take a sample.
Oh, it tastes great. It's fucking delicious.
Bro, I'm so fucking hungry.
I know. I'm like actually. We'll take our like. We can take a 10-minute break in a second and get some snacks.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
She's like, anything you need to buy? She kind of looks you up and down. She's like, you going on adventure? Going on a trip? We could get some trail rations for you.
Yes, that would be excellent. Thank you. Yes, I was hoping to acquire some rations for my journeys, and then maybe a bit of information if you don't mind.
She's kind of been like, like cutting up the meat, like shunk, 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 and she just stops. What kind of information?
Information regarding the going-ons. I forgot what the mayor said. They could come to her for specifically.
Oh,
But
the like massacre.
yeah. What do you know of the slaughter, the tragic slaughter the
You see
other
her narrowed
day?
eyes kind of light up, and she smiles like, "Oh, if there's anything I like, it is a good gossip." She kind of leans in conspiratorially to you, like looking around. She's like, "You know, I was there that night."
Really? So I'm gonna
Well,
lean in. What happened?
in the aftermath, at least, I didn't see the fight, but
Mm-hmm.
it was whew, it's a bloody affair.
Was it?
Look,
Whoa.
I ran in from the north side of Circle Market. A bunch of
Mm-hmm.
people were running past me, fleeing, screaming, and when I got in there, there were 6 bodies just sprawled out there on the ground. Of course, I immediately started shouting for help, waking up all the neighbors and whatnot, and was yelling, keep out for them varlets who've committed a crime. But it was too dark for me to really recognize who ran past me. I didn't think till after they did it that maybe they weren't afraid, maybe they were the perpetrators.
I see. So
Although
they ran north. Sorry, go on.
he's like although a lot of people have said they were pirates or road keepers. But here's the thing. They didn't come in from the docks, so they weren't, from Riddleport or any pirate port nearby. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't go east to the Churlwoods with the road keepers. They ran north.
And
Um,
what's north of this town?
Directly north, wilderness. You could follow the river down to Roderick's wreck, but I mean, not a lot going on over there. Give me a sense motive check on her.
I'm just writing my notes in. Roadkeeper. Move north. Okay. And motive.
Stream definitely just watched me fucking fiddle with my headphones for like 30 seconds. I couldn't fix them. Oh, nice. That'll do it. Um, she's obviously like animated, talking about this gossip very excitedly. But you realize she's holding something back, a detail she doesn't want to give you. What do you do?
I kind of. Like, are you sure there's not anything else? And I'm gonna reach into my pouch and pull out a gold coin.
Gold coin, kind of clack it on the table in front of her on the counter. Looks down at it, looks at you, slides the coin toward her with 2 fingers and pockets it. Look, I saw someone else, okay, lurking around there. It was the town drunks boy, Fromperton. I started yelling for help, and when I did, I saw he was squirreled away in the shadows. But by the time everyone else got there, he was gone. But look, he's just a kid, okay? I don't think he's involved. So, if you gotta talk to him, I understand, but cut him some slack, alright?
I will. He probably just saw something, same as you. Terrified as a kid would be.
It's true.
Um,
Well,
speaking of Frompton, do you know where I might find him?
Sometimes he hangs out by the by the Circle Market. Tends to be where he finds his dad by the tavern, unfortunately.
I see. Okay. I'm assuming by now I have like the rations and stuff ready to like take
Yeah,
out
she's like,
everywhere.
yeah, packing them up. If you want to subtract coins for how many rations you want, I think it's what 5 silver a ration. I'll double check. Trail ration. Um, 5 silver pieces a ration, and that's a day of food.
Okay, so I would probably buy like I'd say like 3 or 4 days worth. So
Okay.
I'm gonna subtract just like a gold because I'm also gonna buy like some stuff from the general store.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
I
like
will say
100 silver for a gold, right?
100 silver to a gold, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's one of them.
you do get 300 experience for getting that information out of her.
Little coin goes a long way.
Truly does. Do you want to pause there for like a 5-10 minute?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
All right. How long do you think you need? 5 or 10 minutes?
Just give me 5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll run a quick ad for anyone watching, and we'll be back in 5. I'll bring us back. Oh, two things got redeemed in chat while we were gone. Hello. Okay. So, okay, gotta use the word fiddlesticks. Incredible. Then, oh, that is very fitting for your character. The Desna's Blessing. Double check my exact wording. There it is. Okay, so Desna's Blessing. Basically, you're going to be blessed with luck for one session. On all your skill checks, you have to add 1d4 minus 1 to them. Minimum 1.
Okay. So that's for this session, right?
Yeah, for this session, yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Fits with your Desna worship. Okay. So, and it's you can roll it anytime you make it, so it's not like 2 forever. You can like do it each time.
Oh, okay.
So like maybe you get, a 3, maybe you don't. We'll see.
That's lit.
All right.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thanks, chat. Thank you, DJ. With that in mind, what are we gonna do next?
Okay. So with that information from her, I think we're gonna try to find this little rugrat.
Okay. So you can head over to the town square. You're gonna be able to find him pretty quickly. Pretty much the only kid that is in the market right now. And they did a different redemption, but I will get to that in a second.
Okay.
Because it is to inspiration. Okay. Yep, you can see he is like right there in front of you on the map. Whoa, my roll 20 is freaking out there.
I'm gonna yell, "Hey
There
kid!"
we go. Huh? What's up?
You wouldn't happen to be Fromperton, would you?
That's what they call my dad, but you can call me Kenny.
All right, Kenny. My name is Irodil. I'm investigating the going-ons at the behest of the mayor in this town.
He kind of shifts uncomfortably. Oh yeah, and what kind of goings on would those be?
I can sense that he likes kind of tensed up, right?
Oh yeah, it's very obvious. Like his whole body tensed up.
Relax. You're not in any trouble. I heard from some people that you may have witnessed that gruesome affair the other night. I was hoping you could tell me what you saw. I'll make it worth your while, and I'll kind of jingle my coin pouch.
Hell yeah. I'd say give me a diplomacy check. So chat also gave you can get advantage on one roll basically. So you can use it now or you can save it. Up to you. Just like an inspiration basically.
Yeah. Let's advantage is roll. Do I get to roll twice, like immediately, or do I need to? I don't.
You
Okay.
get to roll both at once and you get the higher result.
Yeah, since I'm utterly shit at diplomacy, let's try to use that. I think it can come in handy.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so and then I add the inspiration to both rolls.
Yeah, I guess you do, yeah. The Desna's Blessing, you can add it to both rolls.
Okay. So there's one.
I didn't even think about those stacking. Okay, hopefully the other one is higher than that.
Let's hope it's a little bit higher with the 1d4
Minus 1.
minus 1. That's 3.
You needed it to be a 2 or higher, because with the promise of coin, it is a DC 10.
Excellent.
Alright, so
that
this
works.
Yeah, this like rail thin kid with like smudges on his face, hand me down clothes. He sees you, he's just like gives the coin. All right, look, they just because my da's the drunk, I don't want people thinking I'm crazy and seeing things, you know?
I understand, yeah.
But look, I was out late that night. I was getting some night fishing done. In fact, I was looking for a place to finish sleeping, and then I was dock worker woke me up. Then I heard talking coming from the circle. It was pretty early in the morning at that point, nigh on a couple hours past midnight. So I thought, let's see what's going on. I went over there and there was two groups of people arguing. I crouched down behind a rain barrel. I saw members of the Horned Fangs and the Order of Resplendence. It was really foggy at that point, so I didn't see individuals, but one of the people, a woman, was accusing the Fangs. She said, "You are properating a Runelords rune?" Or something like that. I'll put that in quotes in the chat. And she seemed real bent out of shape about it. The Horned Fang said, something quite obscene back to the lady, and she sputtered, and then all of a sudden, things got weird. The woman accusing the Horned Fang, she's from the Order of Resplendence, she drew a rapier, you know, those real thin swords.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't tell it was a rapier at first until the wound happened. You see, she took it out of the scabbard and it was just the basket hilt. There was no blade. Or at least that's what I thought until she jabbed it into the Horned Fang's throat. And then I saw the outline of the blade. The blood picked it out. But he kind of closed his eyes, still like, you know, he's a little world weary for a kid, but he's still like, alright. I didn't. This is where I'm worried you won't believe me. She stabbed her with the blade, and then things, they came out of the fog. Ghosts, monsters, worse. They all started just swirling through the air, and one after another, the Horned Fangs, they just dropped dead. Not a blow touched them. And, well, I saw one of the ghosts turn my way, and I thought that maybe it looked a bit too much like my old man, and I took off. But I don't really know what to make of it. Do you have any points in spellcraft?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. Not gonna do it. Even with that.
Well, I tried. I mean, I can add some bonus dice, maybe.
I will say on a 9, I mean, you would definitely, it had to have been, the way he described it, it must have been the blade was enchanted in some way. It seems like he didn't see anyone casting or talking about spells. The blade, invisible blade gets drawn, these things show up.
Yeah. Some magic going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, thanks a lot, kid.
Yeah, just don't tell my dad about all this.
I was never here, and I'm gonna toss him a coin.
Catches it. Thanks. I appreciate it. And for learning this very valuable information from Witness, you're gonna get 600 XP this time.
Hell yeah, double my XP.
Oh yeah, you're rocking it up there.
Yep. Okay.
As you start to walk away from him out of the crowd, there is a brief moment where you walk down the street, and then all of a sudden, you get deeply, deeply cold. Shiver runs down your spine. It feels to you, for all intents and purposes, like you just got dunked in freezing water. Although your clothes aren't wet. This would be a religion check.
My one knowledge skill.
Yeah.
I know knowledge.
Sometimes ghosts can bring back haunts with them. Haunts can be feelings, they can be dangerous traps, they can mean a lot of things. But most of the time, they are tied to undead's unsettled psyches. Only ghost you've seen is Roderick. Whatever that was, must have been an experience that he felt at some point.
I could ask Johnny about this. I think I'm gonna try to head towards, again, I guess, Phrasmus cemetery over there. See if I can catch a Johnny.
Yeah, she would be over there this time of day. I'll bring her token as well.
Yeah.
You're able to catch her. She is just kind of leaning outside on... Doesn't really have a porch, but like a small, wooden step. She's currently drinking some tea on it.
Way better as I'm on the road walking there.
What are you doing on the way?
I'm just waving to her.
Oh, okay. She nods, kind of, cheers her glass at you. How's the investigation going?
Pretty well so far. I've uncovered that there was a couple of witnesses to the massacre that occurred the other day.
That's good. I didn't know anyone had seen any part of it.
Yeah, it looks like Penny, the Fromperton's little rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She's like, I know him.
he saw the roadkeepers meeting with some mysterious lady. They got to an altercation of sorts, and she had some magic about her. She caused a fog to roll in with, in the boy's description, just terrifying creatures of all sorts of ilk. And the people were dead.
She's gonna roll a spellcraft check, and she actually gets a plus 2 to identify magic item properties.
Mm-hmm.
She listens to your description of the blade and what happened when the Order of Resplendence lady drew it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's... If what you're saying is true, that was a extremely potent illusion magic. That would explain what happened to them. That was... I'm pretty sure that was the weird spell. When someone creates a weird, everyone that it can reach, it will create the thing they fear most in their mind. And if they can't resist that, then they die. But that doesn't make sense. The Order of Resplendence, they're crazy scholars, and I think some of them have taken up a bit of martial training, but they're not powerful casters. And this would have to be either an extremely powerful caster or an extremely powerful enchantment.
He did mention something about that she had a rapier of some sort that didn't appear to have a hilt. That seemed to be what triggered this effect.
Not a hilt. Let me see if she is trained in... What's her knowledge is? Potentially she could know. Oh, that's a good roll. Okay. She stiffens at that. So it was a rapier with no blade, an incredibly wrought basket hilt, and it brought on illusion spells?
Yes, from the voice description, that appears to be it.
I didn't think any of them actually existed. I mean, they talk about them, but that was Baraket. It's one of the 7 swords of sin. The Runelords of ancient Thassalon, they would give a sword of sin to their strongest generals, their best henchmen, and they would wield them. Baraket is the sword of pride. That doesn't... How did... That's an incredibly potent magical artifact. It's a unique sword. What's it doing in Roderick's Cove? This is... I love the town, but it's nowhere.
Funny you should mention the Runelords, because the boy also mentioned that one of them spoke to the other saying, "You are properating a Runelord's rune?" Does that make any sense to you?
If properating is a strange way for her to phrase that, typically properation is when you try to give something haste, just make something go faster. I don't know what wearing a symbol would hasten, but the Horned Fangs are wearing a Runelord's rune? I don't... Look, I don't know enough about the Runelords, I'll admit. They're an ancient... I mean, they're not legend anymore after the Sihedron heroes dealt with all the stuff up in the mountains of Varizia, and all that stuff happened out in the bay of our country. Look, the Sihedron heroes proved that they're very real, and at least a few of them have tried to come back. These are wizards that have cheated death. They are immeasurably powerful. But I don't know what rune that would be. It must be representing one of the 7 wizards. They all have a rune that it's unique to their sin that they represent. Baraket was the sword of pride, gluttony, lust, wrath. All 7 of the primary sins. God, fucking fiddlesticks. I don't know. What should we do?
What I come to you for? This is beyond a simple ghost in a town. I really think that my only lead now is to check out Roderick's wreck. Got the sensation that has to do something with that.
Yeah, that's It's not a bad idea. Listen, I can keep an eye on town. Roderick's wreck. Just be careful out there, okay?
Uh-oh. I will make sure there's still a town when I get back. The alchemist mentioned needing a potion of water breathing, but I'm far too poor for that. I think I'm gonna head to the general store and see what bargains I can get that aid me.
Okay. Let's bring you to the general store.
I think I've already bought it on my character sheet, but
That's fine. We can say, flavor it as buying in town.
yeah, I bought some rope and a couple air bladders. I don't have potion of water breathing, but they let you can take breaths underwater. So
Yeah. Hey, when without magic, supplement with gear. She'll lead you over to the general store, make sure you know what it is, and then she'll go on her way.
okay, good deal.
Okay. So, you find yourself at Conral's General Store. Originally, it was owned by a robustly rotund man named Conral. But as you go in, there's a little bust of him on the desk, on the counter to remember him. But it's run by someone else now. One Varna Rigston, a human woman. She glances over, she's like, oh, excellent, travelers are my favorite. Look, we got all types of sundries, animal feed, items, whatever you need.
Yes, I was hoping to maybe get your assistance and advice. I'm going to be making a visit to Roderick's wreck. I'm not from here, not familiar with the terrain or anything. Do you have any advice on what I might need to make such a trek over?
I'd say, first of all, a way to breathe underwater. At least take a few breaths. It is very near the river, and I imagine parts of it are starting to fall in. The thing's been beaten to hell over centuries, but a miracle is still standing, testament to its craftsmanship. But, look, I heard that there was... Do you know what a sturge is? It's like a big old mosquito. Okay. Monstrous. Try to latch on you and suck your blood. I know a few of the older lads in town went out to the wreck as a dare. They got away, but one of them had a lot of his blood drained. He needed to be tended to by the priests for a few days.
See, and do you know even how to begin warding off this creature? Is it not like fire?
She thinks about it. They're pretty hard to ward off, but I will say they are a bit cowardly. If more than one of them are coming at you, if you can kill one or two, the rest will run away. They'll determine that you're prey that is not worth it.
I see. Okay. Well, I thank you for the insight. I think I will purchase some air bladders and then maybe some rope.
Right away, I can get those things.
Okay. Good.
All right. She gets you the goods. Any other questions for her?
I'll ask her, since I guess this town likes gossip, I'll ask her what she thinks about the going-ons and the tragedies.
If you ask me, the strangest thing in town right now is Peacock Manor. That Order of Resplendence. Look, I had a few scholars come through from time to time over the years. They wanted items. They came in from Kaer Maga or Corvosa, and most of them went to join up with the Order. But lately, I mean, in my opinion, it seems less like a place to research with fellow like-minded individuals. It seems more like a cult.
Hmm. And where is this? You said Peacock Palace?
Peacock Manor, it's if you take a right out of my shop and keep going north, it's on the north side of town.
Let's see.
It's this big one.
Oh, number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do thank you. Thank you for the goods and thank you for the advice.
Of course. Hope you come again. Always happy to do business.
Is there any buildings? I'm sure there are, but buildings that I haven't gone through over on this side of town. I'm not a completionist, but I'm just trying to make sure.
I mean, I can give you some options. There's the Armory, Cove Armory.
Yeah.
That one sells. It specializes like in armor rather than weapons. There's the docks themselves. There is the smithy, who he's more like weapons and then general other metal items like pots and pans.
Okay.
There's the guardhouse. That's where the town guards stay and barrack themselves.
Yeah.
And then there's the kennel that I mentioned earlier that sells dogs.
Well, I'm not. I don't think I need a pet right now. I think I'll head to the Peacock Manor and
Okay.
investigate that a little bit.
So here's the question. How are you approaching the manor? It's got like a wrought iron fence around it, but it's not particularly high. It is climbable. How do you intend to approach? And I'll give me a second. I'll scroll down to it, but
Yeah.
I'll read you exactly what you're seeing here.
I'm gonna just go through the front gate.
Okay.
I may not look like the bookish type, but I like to indulge in my studies when I can.
So, you approach Peacock Manor. It looks like it used to be probably like 3 houses that have kind of been turned into one, and I'm actually going to drag you over here in a second to that map.
Okay.
All right, down there. You see like, beautiful wooden deck going around. There's these lovely front doors. And along the lawn, as you walk through, you see 2 living peacocks just kind of feeding in the lawn. But yeah, if you're going straight up and you knock. I'll open the door, and you are greeted by one of these guys. He looks down at you, lets you through. He says, "Welcome. I am an order philosopher for our great order. What brings you to the manor?"
Yes, I was just checking out the town. I heard that you guys are a repository of knowledge, and I was just hoping to maybe indulge myself in a bit of banter and philosophical debates, as it were, enlighten myself.
Are you trying to deceive her?
I mean, he is generally just curious.
Okay.
So that's it's honest. I mean, he does have also other intentions, I guess, but
She nods. She's like, well, for now, I will bring you into one of our waiting rooms, and I'm sure a high-ranking brother or sister will be with you shortly, and see if we can get you access to some books.
yes, that would be lovely. Thank you.
She brings you inside and leads you over to this room over here.
Okay. I guess I'll wait with while
She's
she
like-
gets that, and I'll search the room.
She throws open some of the windows in here to get some light, and she's like, I will be back shortly.
Yes.
Marches back out. And then she gonna leave.
And what's in this room? Is just like a waiting area, I guess, with a bunch of chairs.
Yes. So the room you're in right now. Come to it. This is the receiving room. There's like an elegant table, these like well-wrought chairs. Another pair of common chairs have been tucked against the northern wall, perhaps for servants or some such. There is also a second door, besides the double one leading this way.
Is there any like art in the walls or?
Seems pretty bare bones. There's like some reliefs of just like splashes of color in the style of a peacock.
Okay. I'd like to kind of investigate this doors. It's like not a secret door by any means, right?
No, it's not secret. It's just like a door into a different room. Yeah, if you want to like roll perception, press your ear in, try to look through the keyhole. So getting some work done. You hear the kitchen's in the background, but some of them have brought their work in here with them. The room you're seeing right now, from that angle, you're not getting a huge chunk of it. But you can see that there's like really long wood tables, lots of chairs. A lot of the scribes have brought like stacks of paperwork in here. They are all talking. And it seems to be about Varisian lore, so the country you're in, and then also Thessalonian lore, the ancient country where the Runelords were.
I speak Thessalonian, so
You
I'm
catch
very
them making like a few remarks in Thessalonian as if like they're using the old tongue to try to study some stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely intrigued.
You do he's not trying to stealth, so you do hear like the advent of like two people with sets of boots are heading towards you.
I will go back to my seat quickly.
All right, the Order Philosopher comes back with another man here. He says, "It's all right, sister, you may leave us." And sorry, she says, she's like, "It's all right, sister, you may leave us." Got my NPCs mixed up for a second. You see a very striking woman. She has like green clothes like the rest of them, but has these incredibly like jade green eyes. And I'm gonna show her. You see at her hips, she has a mace, and then as she turns away from you to tell the philosopher that she can go, you see that she has an incredibly well-wrought basket hilt on her hip.
See.
And it looks like this, now that you've actually seen it in person. But, do you let on what you've seen?
I
She,
do not. Hopefully.
She kind of like, she waves her hand to a chair. Seems kind of busy. She's like, yes, take a seat. My name is Corstella Rostrata. I am one of the lead scholars of our order. I was told by one of our philosophers that you wish to study here. Are you interested in joining the Order of Resplendence?
I was definitely curious about that, yes. I'm not from around here. I was told that your order sought enlightenment through knowledge.
Knowledge, magic, research, however we can get it.
Let's see. I'm personally a fan of ancient Thessalonian history. It's of interest to me. I just like where we come from, so we know where we're going.
She raises an eyebrow and says, Indeed. Well, that could be a boon to our organization. We spend a great deal of time researching the old ways of Thassalon. Their empire stretched past the borders of Arisia, even farther into the continent of Avestan. Surely we have a lot to learn.
Yes. I'm very curious, and I love that you share that with me. And I would be kind of trying to like a friendly smile. Yes, and then what are the requirements for joining this order of yours?
She eyes you quizzically. Do you really want to join, or are you trying to, have perhaps disingenuous reasons for joining?
Honestly, I'd be down for joining.
Okay. Give me one sec. Not that one. She nods. Says, do you regularly study? Do you speak the old tongue, Thessalonian?
I would pay her a compliment in ancient Thessalonian.
She returns the favor. I like to imagine Thessalonian and Aslanti sound very similar to Old Latin.
Yeah, that tracks.
And she's like, well, typically all of our order live here at the mansion. You would, of course, start as an initiate. We don't have access to all of the wings and knowledge. But you would also be sworn to an oath of secrecy. Would you be willing to subject yourself to a gesh? A magical bond that can't be broken very easily.
I'm afraid I enjoy my free spirit a bit too much for that.
Come now, just... all it is to make sure you won't talk about our secrets with the outside world. It's not much to ask.
I can see how some would jump at the chance to join this magnificent order, but I value freedom a bit too much. And I promise I won't say anything, but I don't like the idea of being under compulsion. Surely you understand.
Give me a diplomacy check. Kind of like her picture, you see she's just like very minor, like cantrip level magic, circling green light around her hands just as she thinks.
Okay. Here's hoping we don't fuck up. Let me add the roll.
Yeah, go ahead and add the Desna's blessing. Maybe that'll save it.
Hopefully a 3. Yeah, 3 for sure.
3 for sure will make the difference. Oh, she's like, no, I would insist that you took the gesh upon yourself.
I must decline.
It's a shame. I feel like we could have learned a lot together, you and I.
Of that, my dear, I agree. I give her like a sly wink.
Kind of quirks the corner of her mouth. It's a shame. You know, we've already uncovered many secrets.
Ooh, now you're talking my language. Honestly, like how powerful would this a Gesh be?
A gesh is... Also, I didn't know it was
Like,
called...
it's not gonna be do anything like self-destructive, right?
No. This would basically be like a lesser gesh. Basically, it places a single magical command upon a creature to carry out some service or like refrain from an action or course of activity as desired by the caster. Literally what it would do would basically be like, you know, she would put the gesh on you and would require you to like fail the save on purpose, basically. And the order refreshes them every so often because they only last days. So it doesn't even last forever. But basically, during the actual duration of the spell, if like you try to talk about it, your jaw would just like click shut. You wouldn't be able to. And if someone forces you to, like via magic or something, it can like make you feel real bad.
Okay. But so it's not like anything technically dangerous.
Not really.
Okay.
The worst it'll do, I mean, even if someone like captured you and forced you to talk about it, the worst it would basically, for however many days they do it, it'll give you a -2 penalty to your ability scores, but it can't kill you.
Okay. I would honestly make a very convincing counter offer. Let's say I entertain this guest of yours.
She smiles. Go on.
I would need assurances that I would be able to roam free at my leisure, not of the palace per se, but I'm sure you've noticed my genetic upbringing, noticing that I'm a half elf.
Yeah, she's like,
I like to travel, and I will not let my wanderlust be denied, if that is all right.
our scribes travel all over Varizia, typically. We had some return from the Cipher Gate recently in Riddleport. They sailed in a few nights ago. The only thing restricted would not be where you go outside the manor, just where you go inside the manor. You must work your way up.
Yeah. Out of character, I'm trying to think if I want to like wait to get into this until after I've gone to the cove or before.
Up to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Orders unfold how they will.
I might really want to tie myself down. Let me do this. Let me think on your offer. I'll be back in a few days. If I do find it agreeable, but surely you understand I need to weigh the difficulties of this decision and all that it entails.
She takes a deep breath. Very well. I shall hope to see you back here, and hope to get you into something more green.
Oh, you don't think this purple looks good on me?
She
I kind of
chuckles.
flex.
She's just like, she chuckles, she's like, the peacock's feather is also purple. I can't fault you for that. I'm just kind of prestidigitates another swirl of green fire around her hand. She's like, I am partial to green. All right. If that's the case, she kind of stands up. She's like, I have to be about my work now.
Yes.
Mr. Sovic, is good meeting you. The Order Philosopher kind of bows to you, and he's like, whenever you're ready, can bring you to the front doors.
All right. I'll go out.
Right. You exit unscathed. You
Almost
find
had that
yourself,
diplomacy roll.
yeah,
Okay.
you find yourself back outside of the manor, Peacock Manor.
Okay.
It is
don't
still.
need
I
to-
mean, you rested last night. It is only like noon.
Yeah.
It only takes a couple hours, like 2 hours, to get to Roderick's Wreck.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead and I'll head that way since I've already made my purchases of rations and whatnot.
Okay. Alright. You follow the river up, through the center of town, follow the path to the right of it. Eventually, the river comes to a, what are they called? The Oxbow Lakes, where basically the river starts forming a lake as well, as it loops around the landscape. So that kind of forms a small cove. And I'm going to bring you over to Roderick's Wreck. All right. Outside the wreck. Approaching the house from the east, it is immediately apparent that Roderick's Wreck is true to its name. The house is slumping visibly toward the water, one corner edging dangerously into the river. Boards in the house's walls have warped and popped free from their nails, peeling back like bark from an old tree. The front door hangs slightly ajar, and the sound of buzzing insects, creaking tree branches, and the river flowing hangs in the moist air. Go ahead and give me a perception check as we approach the house. Okay. You are going to notice two things straight off the bat. The first is kind of partially covered by some of the, river silt that's washed up whenever it floods. Something silver and small is glittering over on this bank. On a 23, you realize that the overall sound of insects is disguising the fact that there are two louder buzzes coming from under the porch. And since you can get that check, I'm going to put them where they are under the porch, so you can see.
Alright. Would I think that these might be the sturges that they were talking about?
You're pretty positive. I mean, I'll show you the image. You can kind of back up and you look under the deck, knowing that they don't know to jump out at you yet. That's a sturge. So much worse that they have bat wings.
I think of how I'm gonna handle this.
I mean, it doesn't appear that they've spotted you yet. This is kind of on your approach. You could try to sneak past them.
Yeah. So there's something shiny over in the water or the
Yeah, so
shore?
that's the map doesn't go that far back, but like it's like a couple squares back mechanically.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go over and see what it is. It's pretty far away from the bugs.
Yeah. I think backtracking won't hurt, so I'll do that. Trying to slowly back away.
Okay. You slowly back away. You go over the silver, pick it up pretty easily. It's a silver locket.
Okay.
You open it up, and there is a image of a young woman inside.
Okay. She doesn't look familiar from all the faces I've seen today.
It does not look like any of the faces you've seen. No.
Okay. I'll just kind of put that in one of my pouches. Um, and I'd like to maybe like stealth around the perimeter a bit.
Yeah. Here I can kind of drag it so you don't accidentally see stuff, but
Yeah.
go ahead and give me a stealth check as you begin going around the perimeter.
Okay.
And I'm gonna actually it does specify that. Yeah. So 8.
Got 10 on the stealth.
Okay. Nothing seems to have jumped out at you yet. So you see the house kind of continues around here. There's a brief dip in the walls. All of these brown squares are closed off windows, and you can see a second floor up ahead. As you continue around the back side of the house, you can see that there is you can walk up to the riverbank, and there are stairs that go outside of the house's rooms from the lower floor to the upper.
Okay.
Or excuse me, sorry, from the water to the first floor, because that is his landing.
Yeah. Do I hear any of that faint buzzing noise or anything over the water?
Give me another perception check back here.
Okay.
20. This is probably where we'll pause for today, but they tried to hide from you.
Oh, that's not it.
But you see that kind of circling in the murk below the stairs are 2 of the reef claws that you heard about.
Okay.
Alright, time to go get my kid from preschool, but that'll be a good spot to pause for today. And
Alright.
for those watching, might be intermittent, but when we do the stream, I'll post about it. And typically when it happens, it'll be from 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Alright, good playing with you, man. We'll see you next time.